You may have heard about the Sinclair Tribune merger that is coming up and the Sinclair takeover of local news media that you may have seen on John Oliver. It's no mistake that it's happened under this administration, and it's no mistake it's happened under this FCC. There are two dissenters among the FCC's 5 seats right now, and that's Jessica Rosenworcel and Mignon Clyburn, and they've both talked at length about the dismantling of net neutrality, of internet freedom, of the mobilization of corporations to make more and more money off of our laws and our system, instead of the FCC following what it's supposed to be doing, which is protecting consumers, which is to be overseeing various branches of communication, which, yes, include the internet, include television, include almost any way that you can think of in which to ingest information and to therefore form your own opinions after that. But are they your own opinions? That I would say is, I mean, if you look at what Sinclair has been putting on their must-run pieces, we have people who have worked with Trump before. We have people who very clearly have their own positions that tend to be extremely conservative, not just right-wing, but I would say Trump-level conservative. And it's pretty transparent that this is being used as a mouthpiece for this kind of information, as opposed to news media, which is what the news media is supposed to be.
Yes, and it's always shocking, especially with that video. That's the reason why it went viral, because news media is the fourth estate. It is what is supposed to hold everybody in check, and stuff like that. And to see that most Americans are getting the exact same message being pounded into their head, it really creates a lot of problems for making our country diverse and making our country innovative and making our country so free thinking.
Well, it's supposed to be a place for us to have different ideas and discuss them. You can certainly bring up criticisms of what journalism is or what local journalism is, but it's not supposed to be just this platform for one group of profiteers to be able to profit more. And it's been extremely frustrating to watch. As an American who consumes news, I used to be in local news. I used to work for Tribune Media, which may be absorbed into Sinclair soon. I would say more than likely. So it must have been extremely off-putting and difficult for the two dissenting opinions on the board. Specifically, Jessica Rosenworcel addressed the Sinclair Tribune merger, saying, as I have said before, this is a troubling pattern at the FCC. The agency's big media policy decisions all seem custom-built for the business plan of Sinclair Broadcasting. And it's not just that Sinclair Broadcasting is saying something that I don't like personally. What they're saying is not news. What they're saying is one specific message. And the rules have been bent in their way. CNET has pointed out that if Sinclair were to take over Tribune, they would control 42 additional stations in major markets, including New York, including LA, Chicago, Washington, D.C. And the FCC also put in a loophole that made Sinclair to undercount the households that it would actually go to in order to pretend artificially that it's under the 39% threshold of the nation's homes. According to Pew Research, this was found by the New York Times, around 30% of American adults get their news from local television stations. If the Sinclair and Tribune merger does happen, that would give the company a reach of 70% of American households. And it's not made immediately clear, what we're saying is editorial, what we're saying is this person's opinion. It comes off as this is the news. And if you've seen this before, as John Oliver has frequently pointed out, a lot of it is extremely upsetting and tilted a certain way.
Yeah, and it becomes, again, problematic because my parents get their news from a small station in Pittsburgh, Kansas. It's one of the smallest markets in the entire television network across the nation. And they watch the local news over the national news because they believe it to be more pure. They believe it to be more real and also to be personally about their community. But if the news that they have to report, and I don't know if that station is covered by this merger at all, is all from the same source, from a giant corporation, then it might as well just be propaganda.
It might as well be. And it's upsetting because also Chairwoman Rosenworcel has pointed out that they do have a mobile streaming idea or platform that would be exclusive to them that they would probably utilize in this way as well. I know we normally talk about specifically net neutrality, but this is how it would reach you there. And what we're seeing here is corruption from a corporation on a completely new level. And it is something that happened slowly. We didn't have a lot of oversight over media consolidation, which sounds like a boring thing to look into or cover on the news, ironically.
Yeah.
But it is something that has happened.
Well, it's one of those things you don't realize how important it is until somebody takes it away. And now that it's slowly going away from us, we realize how important, how crucial it is, just even the stuff that we do, how important it is here.
It's hard to watch, and I wish we could do more, and I wish this wasn't dependent on a 5-person
unelectable
commission, unelected, in which 3 have clearly been bought and sold by the ISPs. It's maddening. I mean, we look at Ajit Pai, and he jokes about, being a puppet for Verizon. He jokes about being a puppet for Verizon, his former employer. And we see after that, the FCC block of emails about conservative news site Daily Caller's Harlem Shake video starring Ajit Pai, released right around the time the FCC decided to dismantle net neutrality.
Yeah, Ajit should just not be in any more videos. And then also, you thought Harlem Shake is current? I think that's like 4 years old.
No, Jason, it's 5 years old. I went back. This craze was hot in 2013. It's 2018 now.
Oh my God, Ajit. What are you doing?
And you got to look into, I mean, do you own the rights to that? Are we going to do a takedown of this? This has happened. I mean, we can joke, but this also happened when we were looking at public dissent comments about the dismantling of net neutrality on the FCC's website. That information has not been released. We have multiple news outlets and reporters who have filed Freedom of Information Act requests and been denied by the complete lack of transparency from this particular agency at this particular time. It wasn't like this before.
I know, and it's just a simple fact of all they're asking is to find out whose idea was this video and why did they make it? And those are the emails that they're trying to get, but nobody will tell.
It seems like
that shouldn't be confidential.
No, it shouldn't. It should be something that's out there. I mean, it sounds silly, and it is silly. And it is stupid, and I hate everyone. But it's what it actually is not willing to talk about how we reached this decision to destroy net neutrality. And I think it should be more transparent, because what you are supposed to be doing is serving the public, is to be, ironically, concerned with communication. And we're not seeing that here. We are seeing the bolstering of private profit over public interest.
Yeah, we're seeing the limiting of communication instead of the protecting of communication.
Well, the limiting of communication in favor of the profit for the few, which is the opposite of what this government agency should be doing. But it's what we've been seeing for a couple years now, and it's hard, and I don't like it. And I think we need to be pushing and working more to make our voices heard, at the very least, that we need this to be made clear. Audience, do you want to see the emails about that stupid Harlem Shake video? I know you want to see more than that. Please let us know your thoughts on Facebook and Twitter.